Part 3, 1996 through 2001. Early 30s. Sometimes you are aware when your great moments past are happening. Whoa. Okay, we're starting over. That didn't count. Sorry. Okay. All right. Part 3, 1996 through 2001. Early 30s. Sometimes you are aware when your great moments are happening, and sometimes they rise from the past. Perhaps it's the same with people. James Salter, Burning the Days. Chapter 10, Carpe Diem, Monday 15th July 1996. Leytonstone and Walthamstow. Emma Morley lies on her back on the floor of the headmaster's office, with her dress rucked up around her waist, and exhales slowly through her mouth. Oh, and by the way, Year 9 need new copies of Cider with Rosie. I'll see what I can do, says the headmaster, buttoning up his shirt. So while you've got me here on your carpet, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Budget issues, Ofsted inspection, anything you want to go over again? I'd like to go over you again, he says, laying down again and nuzzling her neck. It's the kind of meaningless innuendo that Mr. Godalming, Phil, specializes in. What does that mean? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. She tuts and shrugs him away, and wonders why sex, even when enjoyable, leaves her so ill-tempered. They lie still for a moment. It's 6:30 in the evening at the end of term, and Cromwell Road Comprehensive has the eerie quiet of a school after hours. The cleaners have been round, the office door is closed and locked from the inside, but still she feels uneasy and anxious. Isn't there meant to be some sort of afterglow, some sense of communion or well-being? For the last 9 months she has been making love on institutional carpet, plastic chairs, and laminated tables. Ever considerate of his staff, Phil has taken the foam cushion from the office armchair, and it now rests beneath her hips, but even so, she would one day like to have sex on furniture that doesn't stack. You know what? Says the headmaster. What? I think you're sensational. And he squeezes her breast for emphasis. I don't know what I'm going to do without you for 6 weeks. At least it'll give your carpet burn a chance to heal. 6 whole weeks without you. His beard is scratching at her neck. I'll go crazy with desire. Well, you've always got Mrs. Godalming to fall back on, she says, hearing her own voice, sour and mean. She sits and pulls her dress down over her knees. And anyway, I thought the long holidays were one of the perks of teaching. That's what you told me when I first applied. Hurt. He looks up at her from the carpet. Don't be like this, Em. What? The woman scorned act? Sorry. I don't like it any more than you do. Except I think you do. No, I don't. Let's not spoil it, eh? He places one hand on her back, as if consoling her. This is our last time till September. All right, I said sorry, okay? To mark a change in subject, she twists at the waist and kisses him, and is about to pull away when he places one hand on the nape of her neck and kisses her again, with a gentle scoring action. Christ, I'm going to miss you. You know what I think you should do, she says, her mouth on his. It's quite radical. He looks at her anxiously. Go on. This summer, soon as term's over. Tell me. She places one finger on his chin. I think you should shave this off. He goes to sit. No way. All this time, and I don't know what you actually look like. This is what I look like. But your face, your actual face. You might even be quite handsome. She puts her hand on his forearm and pulls him back down. Who's behind the mask? Let me in, Phil. Let me know the real you. They laugh for a while, comfortable again. You'd be disappointed, he says, rubbing it like a favored pet. Anyway, it's either this or shave 3 times a day. I used to shave in the morning, but I looked like a burglar by lunchtime, so I thought I'd let it grow, let it be my trademark. Oh, a trademark. It's informal. The kids like it. Makes me look anti-authority. Emma laughs again. It's not 1973, Phil. A beard makes something different these days. He shrugs defensively. Fiona likes it. Says I have a weak chin otherwise. A silence follows, as it always does when his wife is mentioned. To lighten things, he says self-deprecatingly, Of course you know the kids all call me the beard. I wasn't aware of that, no. Phil laughs and Emma smiles. And anyway, it's not the beard, it's just beard. No definite article. Monkey boy. He sits suddenly, frowning sternly. Monkey boy? That's what they call you. Who? The kids. Monkey boy? Didn't you know? No. Oops, sorry. He flops back down on the floor, sulky and hurt. Can't believe they call me Monkey Boy. Only in fun, she says soothingly. It's affectionate. Doesn't sound very affectionate. He rubs his chin as if comforting a pet. It's because I've got too much testosterone, that's all. The use of the word testosterone is enough to perk him up, and he pulls Emma back toward the floor and kisses her once more. He tastes of staff room coffee in the bottle of white wine he keeps in his filing cabinet. I'll get a rash, she says. So? So people will know. Everyone's gone home. His hand is on her thigh when the phone rings on the desk, and he recoils as if bitten. He staggers to his feet. Leave it, groans Emma. I can't leave it. He's dragging on his trousers as if talking to Fiona whilst naked from the waist down would be a betrayal too far, as if he's terrified of some as if he's terrified of sounding in some way bare-legged. Hi there. Hello, love. Yes, I know. Just walking out the door. Domestic issues are debated. Pasta or stir-fry, a TV or a DVD, and Emma distracts herself from her lover's home life by retrieving her rolled-up underwear from beneath the desk where it lies with the paperclips and pen tops. Dressing. She crosses to the window. There's dust on the blades of the Venetian blinds. Outside, a pink light hits the science block. And suddenly, Emma wishes that she were in a park or on a beach or a European city square somewhere. Just anywhere but here in this airless institutional room with a married man. How does it happen that you wake up one day, find yourself in your 30s, and someone's mistress? The word is repulsive, servile, and she would rather not have it present in her mind, but can come up with no other. She is the boss's mistress, and the best that can be said of the circumstances is that at least there are no children involved. The affair, another awful word, began the previous September after the disastrous holiday in Corfu. The engagement ring in the calamari. I think we want different things was the best that she could come up with, and the rest of the long, long fortnight passed in a haze of sunburn and sulking, self-pity and anxiety about whether the jewelers would take the ring back. Nothing in the world could be more melancholy than that unwanted engagement ring. It sat in the suitcase in their hotel room, emanating sadness like radiation. She returned from the holiday looking brown and unhappy. Her mother, who knew about the proposal, who had practically bought her own dress for the wedding, raged and moaned at Emma for weeks until she began to question her rejection of the offer. But saying yes would feel like caving in, and Emma knew from novels that you should never cave into marriage. The affair had settled it. During a routine meeting, she had burst into tears in Phil's office, and he had crossed from behind the desk, put his arm around her, and pressed his mouth to the top of her head, almost as if to say at last. After work, he took her to this place he'd heard of, a gastropub, where you could get a pint, but the food was great too. They had ribeye steaks and goat's cheese salad, and as their knees made contact beneath the big wooden table, she had let it all flood out. After the second bottle of wine, it was all just a formality, the hug that became a kiss in the taxi home, the the brown internal envelope in her pigeonhole. About last night. Can't stop thinking about you. Felt this way for years. We need to talk. When can we talk? Everything Emma knew about adultery had come from TV dramas of the 70s. She associated it with Cinzano and Triumph TR7s and cheese and wine parties. Thought of it as something the middle-aged did. The middle classes mainly. Golf, yachts, adultery. Oh, golf, yachts, adultery. Now that she was actually involved in an affair, it's paraphernalia of secret looks, hands held under tables, fondles in the stationery cupboard. She was surprised at how familiar it all was, and what a potent emotion lust could be, when combined with guilt and self-loathing. What? Whoa. One night after sex, on the set of her Christmas production of Grease, he had solemnly handed her a gift-wrapped box. It's a mobile phone, in case I need to hear your voice. Sitting on the bonnet of the greased Lightning, she stared at the box and sighed. Well, I suppose it was bound to happen eventually. What's up? Don't you like it? No, it's great, she smiled, remembering. I just lost a bet with someone, that's all. Sometimes, walking and talking on a clear autumn evening in a secret part of Hackney Marshes, or giggling at the school carol service, drunk on mulled wine with their hips touching. Sometimes she thought she was in love with Philip Godalming. He was a good, principled, passionate teacher, if a little pompous sometimes. He had nice eyes, he could be funny. For the first time in her life, she was the subject of an almost obsessive sexual infatuation. Of course, at 44, he was far too old, and his body, beneath the pelt, had that slipped, doughy quality, but he was an earnest and intense lover, sometimes a little too intense for her liking, a face puller, a talker. She found it hard to believe that the same man who stood in assembly to talk about the charity fun run would use that kind of language. Sometimes she wanted to break off sex. Sorry. Sometimes she wanted to break off during sex and say, Mr. Godalming, you swore. But 9 months have passed now, the excitement has faded, and she finds it harder to understand why she's here, loitering in a school corridor on a beautiful summer's evening. She should be with friends, or with a lover whom she's proud of and can mention in front of other people. Sulky with guilt and embarrassment, she waits outside the boys' loos, while Phil washes himself with institutional soap. His deputy head of English and theater studies, and his mistress. Oh, good God. All done, he says, stepping out. He takes her hand in his, still damp from the wash basin, dropping it discreetly as they step out into the open air. He locks the main door, sets the alarm, and they walk to his car in the evening light, a professional distance apart, his leather briefcase occasionally banging the back of her shin. I'd drive you to the tube, but best be on the safe side. They walk a little further. 4 more days to go, he says jauntily to fill the silence. Where are you off to again? She asks, even though she knows. Corsica. Walking. Fiona loves to walk. Walking, 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 always walking. She likes Gandhi. She's like Gandhi. Then in the evening, off come the walking boots, out like a light. Phil, please, don't. Sorry, sorry. To change the subject, he asks, how about you? Might see family in Yorkshire. Staying here, working mostly. Working? You know, writing. Ah, the writing. Like everyone, he says it as if he doesn't believe her. It's not about you and me, is it? This famous book? No, it's not. They're at his car now, and she is keen to be gone. And anyway, I don't know if you and me are all that interesting. He's leaning against his blue Ford Sierra, gearing up for the big farewell, and now she has spoilt it. He frowns, bottom lip showing pink through his beard. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know, just go on. Phil, us, it doesn't make me happy. You're unhappy? Well, it's not ideal, is it? Once a week on an institutional carpet? You seem pretty happy to me. I don't mean satisfied. Good God, it's not about sex. It's the circumstances. Well, it makes me happy. Does it? Does it really, though? As I recall, it used to make you happy, too. Excited, I suppose, for a while. For Christ's sake, Emma, he glares down at her as if she has been caught smoking in the girls' loos. I've got to go now. Why bring this up just as I've got to go? I'm sorry, I mean, for fuck's sake, Emma. Hey, don't talk to me like that. I'm not, I'm just, let's just get through the summer holiday, shall we? And then we'll work out what to do. I don't think there's anything we can do, is there? We either stop or we carry on, and I don't think we should carry on. He lowers his voice. There is something else we can do. I can do. He looks round. Then, when he's sure it's safe, he takes her hand. I could tell her this summer. I don't want you to tell her, Phil. Well, while we're away, or before even, next week. I don't want you to tell her. There's no point. Isn't there? No. Because I think there is. I think there might be. Fine, let's talk next term. Let's, I don't know, pencil in a meeting. Heartened, he licks his lips and checks once more for onlookers. I love you, Emma Morley. No, you don't, she sighs. Not really. He tilts his chin down, as if peering at her over imaginary glasses. I think that's for me to decide, don't you? She hates that headmasterly look and tone of voice. She wants to kick him in the shins. You'd better go, she says. I'll miss you, Em. Have a nice holiday, if we don't talk. You've no idea how much I'll miss you. Corsica. Lovely. Every day. See you then. Bye. Here, raising his briefcase, using it as a shield, he kisses her. Very discreet, she thinks, standing impassively. He opens the car door and steps in, a navy blue Sierra, a proper headmaster's car, its glove compartment packed with ordnance survey maps. Still can't believe they call me Monkey Boy, he mumbles, shaking his head. She stands for a moment in the empty car park and watches him drive off. 30-year-old, barely in love with a married man, but at least there are no kids involved. 20 minutes later, she stands beneath the window of the long, low red brick building that contains her flat and notices a light on in the living room. Ian is back. She contemplates walking off and hiding in the pub, or perhaps going round to see friends for the evening, but she knows that Ian will just sit in that armchair with the light off and wait, like an assassin. She takes a deep breath and looks for her keys. The flat seems much bigger since Ian moved out. Stripped of video box sets, the chargers and adapters and cables, the vinyl in gatefold sleeves, it feels as if it has been recently burgled. And once again, Emma is reminded of how little she has to show for the last 8 years. She can hear a rustling from the bedroom. She puts down her bag and walks quietly towards the door. The contents of the chest of drawers are scattered on the floor. Letters, bank statements, torn paper wallets of photographs and negatives. She stands silent and unobserved in the doorway and watches Ian for a moment, snorting with the effort of reaching deep into the back of the drawer. He wears unlaced trousers, tracksuit bottoms, an unironed shirt. It's an outfit that has been carefully put together to suggest maximum emotional disarray. He is dressed to upset. "What are you doing, Ian?" He is startled, but only for a moment, after which he glares back indignantly, a self-righteous burglar. "You're home late," he says accusingly. "What's that got to do with you?" "Just curious as to your whereabouts, that's all. I had rehearsals, Ian. I thought we agreed you can't just drop in like this." "Why, got someone with you, have you?" "Ian, I am so not in the mood for this." She puts down her bag, takes off her coat. "If you're looking for a diary or something, you're wasting your time. I haven't kept a diary for years. As a matter of fact, I'm just getting my stuff. It is my stuff, you know. I do own it." "You've got all your stuff." "My passport. I don't have my passport." "Well, I can tell you right now, it's not in my underwear drawer." He is improvising, of course. She knows that he has his passport. He just wanted to poke through her belongings and show her that he's not okay. "Why do you need your passport? Are you going somewhere? Emigrating, maybe?" "Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you?" he sneers. "Well, I wouldn't mind," she says, stepping over the mess and sitting on the bed. He adopts a gumshoe voice. "Well, tough shit, sweetheart, 'cause I ain't going nowhere." As a jilted lover, Ian has found a commitment and aggression that he never possessed as a stand-up comedian, and he is certainly putting on quite a show tonight. Couldn't afford to anyway. She feels like heckling him. "I take it you're not doing a lot of stand-up comedy at the moment then, Ian?" "What do you think, sweetheart?" he says, putting his arms out to the side, indicating the stubble, the unwashed hair, the shallow skin, his "look what you've done to me" look. Ian is making a spectacle of his self-pity, a one-man show of loneliness and rejection that he's been working up for the last 6 months, and tonight, at least, Emma has no time for it. "Where's this sweetheart thing come from, Ian? I'm not sure if I like it." He returns to his search and mumbles something into the drawer. "Fuck off, Em, perhaps." Is he drunk, she wonders? On the dressing table, there's an open can of strong, cheap lager. Drunk. Now there's a good idea. At that moment, Emma decides to set out to get drunk as soon as possible. Why not? It seems to work for everyone else. Excited by the project, she walks to the kitchen to make a start. He follows her through. "So where were you then?" "I told you, at school, rehearsing." "What were you rehearsing?" "Bugsy Malone. It's a lot of laughs. Why, you want tickets?" "No, thanks." "There's splurge guns. I reckon you've been with someone." "Oh, please, here we go again." She opens the fridge. There's half a bottle of wine, but this is one of those times when only spirits will do. "Ian, what is this obsession with me being with someone? Why can't it just be that you and me weren't right for each other?" With a hard yank, she cracks the seal of the frosted-up freezer compartment. Ice scatters on the floor. "But we are right for each other." "Well, fine then, if you say so. Let's get back together." Behind some ancient minced beef crispy pancakes, there's a bottle of vodka. "Yes." She slides the crispy pancakes to Ian. "Here, these are yours. I'm granting you custody." Slamming the fridge, she reaches for a glass. "And anyway, what if I was with someone, Ian? So what? We broke up, remember?" Rings a bell, rings a bell. "So who is he then?" She's pouring the vodka 2 inches. "Who's who?" "Your new boyfriend. Go on, just tell me. I won't mind." He sneers. "We're still friends, after all." Emma gulps from her glass, then stoops for a moment, elbows on the countertop, the heels of her hands pressed against her eyes as she feels the icy liquid slide down her throat. A moment passes. It's Mr. Godalming, the headmaster. We've been having this affair on and off for the past 9 months, but I think it's mainly been about the sex. To be honest, the whole thing's a bit degrading for both of us. Makes me a bit ashamed, bit sad. Still, like I keep saying, at least there are no kids involved. There you go. She speaks into her glass. Now you know. The room is silent. Eventually, you're kidding me. Look out the window. Have a look. See for yourself. He's waiting in the car. Navy blue Sierra. He sniffs, incredulous. It's not fucking funny, Emma. Emma places her empty glass on the counter and exhales slowly. No, I know, it's not. In no way could the situation be described as funny. She turns and faces him. I've told you, Ian, I'm not seeing anyone, I'm not in love with anyone, and I don't want to be. I just want to be left alone. I've got a theory, he says proudly. What theory? I know who it is. She sighs. Who is it then, Sherlock? Dexter, he says triumphantly. Oh, for Christ's sake, she drains the glass. I'm right, aren't I? She laughs bitterly. God, I wish. What does that mean? Nothing. Ian, as you well know, I haven't spoken to Dexter for months. Or so you say. You're being ridiculous, Ian. What, you think we've been having this secret love affair behind everyone's back? That's what the evidence seems to suggest. Evidence? What evidence? And for the first time, Ian looks a little sheepish. Your notebooks. A moment, then she puts her glass out of reach so that she won't be tempted to throw it. You've been reading my notebooks? I've glanced once or twice over the years. You bastard. The little bits of poetry, those magical 10 days in Greece, all that yearning, all that desire. How dare you? How dare you go behind my back like that? You left them lying around. What do you expect? I expected some trust, and I expected you to have some dignity. And anyway, I didn't need to read them. It was so bloody obvious, the two of you. But I have limited reserves of sympathy, Ian. Months of you moaning and moping and whining and hanging round like a kicked dog. Well, if you ever turn up out of the blue like this and start going through my drawers, I swear I will call the fucking police. Go on then, go on, call them. And he steps toward her, his arms out to the side, filling the little room. It's my flat too, remember? Is it? How come? You never paid the mortgage. I did that. You never did anything. Just lay around feeling sorry for yourself. That's not true. And whatever money you did earn went on stupid videos and takeaway. I chipped in when I could. Well, it wasn't enough. Oh God, I hate this flat and I hate my life here. I've got to get out of here or I will go crazy. This was our home, he protests desperately. I was never happy here, Ian. Why couldn't you see that? I just got stuck here. We both did. Surely you must know that. He has never seen her like this or heard her say these things. Shocked, his eyes wide like a panicked child, he stumbles towards her. Calm down, he's gripping her arm now. Don't say things like that. Get away from me, Ian. I mean it. Ian, just get away. They're shouting at each other now, and she thinks, oh God, we've become one of those crazy couples you hear through the walls at night. Somewhere someone's thinking, should I call the police? How did it come to this? Get out, she shouts as he desperately tries to put his arms around her. Just give me your keys and get out. I don't want to see you anymore. And then just as suddenly they're both crying, slumped on the floor in the narrow hallway of the flat they had brought together with such hope. Ian's hand is covering his face, and he's struggling to speak between great sobs and gulps of air. I can't stand this. Why is this happening to me? This is hell. I'm in hell, Em. I know, I'm sorry. She wraps her arms around his shoulder. Why can't you just love me? Why can't you just be in love with me? You were once, weren't you, in the beginning? Of course I was. Well, why can't you be in love with me again? Oh, Ian, I can't. I've tried, but I can't. I'm sorry. I am so, so sorry. Some time later, they lie together on the floor in the same spot, as if they've been washed up there. Her head is on his shoulder, her arm across his chest, taking in the smell of him, the warm, comfortable smell that she had become so used to. Eventually he speaks. I should go. I think you should. Keeping his red, swollen face averted, he sits and nods towards the mess of paper, notebooks, and photographs on the bedroom floor. You know what makes me sad? Go on. That there aren't that there aren't more photographs of us. Together, I mean. There's thousands of you and Dex, hardly any of just you and me. Not recent, anyway. It's like we just stopped taking them. No decent camera, she says weakly, but he chooses to accept it. Sorry for, flipping out like that, going through your stuff. Completely unacceptable behavior. It's all right, just don't do it again. Some of the stories are quite good, by the way. Thank you. Though they weren't meant to be though they were meant to be private. What's the point of that? You'll have to show them to someone someday. Put yourself out there. Okay, maybe I will, one day. Not the poems, don't show them the poems, but the stories, they're good. You're a good writer. You're clever. Thank you, Ian. His face starts to crumple. It wasn't so bad, was it, living here with me? It was great. I'm just taking it all out on you, that's all. Do you want to tell me about it? Nothing to tell. So? So? They smile at each other. He's standing by the door now, one hand on the handle, not quite able to leave. One last thing. Go on. You're not seeing him, are you? I mean Dexter. I'm just being paranoid. She sighs and shakes her head. Ian, I swear to you on my life, I am not seeing Dexter. 'Cause I saw in the papers that he'd split up with his girlfriends, and I thought you and me breaking up and him being single again. I haven't seen Dexter for, God, ages. But did anything happen while you and I were together, between you and Dexter behind my back? Because I can't bear the idea. Ian, nothing happened between me and Dexter, she says, hoping he'll leave without asking the next question. But did you want it to? Did she? Yes, sometimes. Often. No, no, I didn't. We were just friends, that's all. Okay, good. He looks at her and tries to smile. I miss you so much, Em. I know you do. He puts his hand to his stomach. I feel sick with it. It'll pass. Will it? Because I think I might be going a bit mad. I know, but I can't help you, Ian. You could always change your mind. I can't. I won't. I'm sorry. Righto. He shrugs and smiles with his lips tucked in, his Stan Laurel smile. Still, no harm in asking, is there? I suppose not. I still think you're the bollocks, mind. She smiles because he wants her to smile. No, you're the bollocks, Ian. Well, I'm not going to stand here and argue about it. He sighs, unable to keep it up, and reaches for the door. Okay, then. Love to... Oh, okay then. Love to Mrs. M. See you around. See you around. Bye. Bye. He turns and pulls the door open sharply, kicking the bottom so that it gave the illusion of having hit him in the face. Emma laughs dutifully. Then Ian takes a deep breath and is gone. She sits on the floor for for 1 minute more, then stands suddenly and with a renewed sense of purpose, grabs her keys and strides out of the flat. The sound of a summer evening in E17, shouts and screams echoing off the buildings, a few St. George's flags still hanging limply. She strides across the forecourt. Isn't she meant to have a close circle of kooky friends to help her get through all this? Shouldn't she be sitting on a low, baggy sofa with 6 or 7 attractive, zany metropolitans? Isn't that what city life is meant to be like? That either they live 2 hours away or they're with families or boyfriends, and thankfully, in the absence of kooky pals, there is the off license called, confusingly, depressingly, booze are use. Intimidating kids are cycling in lazy circles near the entrance, but she's fearless now and marches through their center, eyes fixed forward. In the shop, she picks out the least dubious bottle of wine and joins the queue. The man in front of her has a cobweb tattooed on his face, and while she waits for him to count out enough small change for 2 liters of strong cider, she notices the bottle of champagne locked in a glass cabinet. It's dusty, like a relic of some unimaginably luxurious past. I'll have that champagne too, please, she says. The shopkeeper looks suspicious, but sure enough, the money is there, bunched tightly in her hand. Celebration, is it? Exactly. Big, big celebration. Then on a whim, 20 Marlboro 2. With the bottle swinging in a flimsy plastic bag against her hip, she steps out of the shop, cramming the cigarette into her mouth as if it were the antidote to something. Immediately she hears a voice. Miss Morley? She looks round guiltily. Miss Morley, over here! And striding towards her on long legs is Sonia Richards. Her protege, her project. The skinny, bunched-up little girl who played the artful Dodger has transformed, and Sonia is startling tall. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. And Sonia is startling now. Tall, hair scraped back, self-assured. Emma has a perfect vision of herself as Sonia must see her. Hunched and red-eyed, fag in mouth on the threshold of booze are use, a role model, an inspiration. Absurdly, she hides the lit cigarette behind her back. How are you, miss? Sonia is looking a little ill at ease now, eyes flicking from side to side as if regretting coming over. I'm great. Great. How are you, Sonia? Okay, miss. How's college? Everything going all right? Yeah, really good. A levels next year, right? That's right. Sonia is glancing furtively at the plastic bag of booze chinking at Emma's side, the plume of smoke curling from behind her back. University next year? Nottingham, I hope, if I get the grades. You will. You will. Thanks to you, says Sonia, but without much conviction. There's a silence. In desperation, Emma holds up the bottles in one hand, the cigarettes in the other, and waggles them. Weekly shop, she says. Sonia seems confused. Well, I'd better get going. Okay, Sonia, really great to see you. Sonia? Good luck, yeah? Really good luck. But Sonia is already striding off without looking back, and Emma, one of those Carpe Diem type teachers, watches her go. Later that night, a strange thing happens. Half asleep, lying on the sofa with the TV on, and the empty bottle at her feet, she is woken by Dexter Mayhew's voice. She doesn't understand quite what he's saying, something about first-person shooters and multiplayer options and non-stop shoot-'em-up action. Confused and concerned, she forces her eyes open, and he is standing right in front of her. Emma hauls herself upright and smiles. She has seen this show before. Game On is a late-night TV program with all the hot news and views from the computer game scene. The set is a red-lit dungeon composed of polystyrene boulders, as if playing computer games were a sort of purgatory, and in this dungeon, way-faced gamers sit hunched in front of a giant screen as Dexter Mayhew urges them to press their buttons faster. Faster, shoot, shoot. The games, the tournaments are intercut with earnest reviews in which Dexter and a token woman with orange hair discuss the week's hot new releases. Maybe it's just Emma's tiny television, but he looks a little puffy these days, a little gray. Perhaps it's just that small screen, but something has gone missing. The swagger, she remembers, has gone. He is talking about Duke Nukem 3D, and he seems uncertain, a little embarrassed even. Nevertheless, she feels a great wave of affection for Dexter Mayhew. In 8 years, not a day has gone by when she hasn't thought of him. She misses him, and she wants him back. I want my best friend back, she thinks, because without him, nothing is good and nothing is right. I will call him, she thinks, as she falls asleep. Tomorrow. First thing tomorrow. I will call him. The end. Thanks for listening. I'm trying to see. I'm not trying to stay on long, but I'm trying to see how much time has passed between this chapter and the last chapter. Super fast. So that was 96. Michael and Code, how are you guys? Um, oh, not that much time has passed. Why did it say it's been like 8 years? Maybe they've been friends for 8 years now. That sounds way more accurate. Yeah, okay, cool. I was just curious. And then the next chapter, another year has gone by. Cool. I'm so tired. Okay. That was good. That was a good one. So her and Ian broke up. I never would have thought Emma would have an affair with a married man, but at least she broke it off. He's an idiot. Although I mean, I think she just was like, well, she kind of explained it. She's like more excited about just the thrill, and she like thought she was maybe falling in love with him, but she was like, nope, never mind, that was silly. And then he tries to say I love you, and she's like, no, no, no. Ew. If a dude ever told me I want to divorce my wife to be with you, no, no, no. Ew. Yeah. Any girl that falls for that is, mm, I feel bad for you. But anyway, so stupid. Honestly, like the whole like cheating concept is so dumb. Like, if you ever got in a committed relationship with someone that you knew was cheating on their partner with you, You're stupid. They're just gonna cheat on you. You're the next one. That's stupid. And then, like, anyone that thinks cheating is productive in any way, just break up. You don't have to cheat on anyone. You don't have to hurt them more. Just break up with them. It's wild. I have a hair. Lovely. Anyway, um, that's my opinion. But I wasn't gonna stay on very long. I'm very tired and I have to get up early tomorrow. I'm also really hot. Normally I wear like a sweater and stuff. I'm like my face is so red right now. I'm really hot and you can't really tell, thankfully. I'm really sweaty. I don't sweat, but I'm very sweaty right now. I don't think that's a good sign. I think I'm tired. Um, no, I have to get up early and tomorrow it's apparently tomorrow it's maybe gonna snow, but I have to go to a conference. It's great. It's required. Mandatory. I have to be there. They picked the perfect day to make me go, I don't know, out go somewhere outside of work. It's so cold and it's gonna be snowing and but it's like it's like this thing that I want to look good for. You can't look good and be warm. They don't mix well unless you have the money to own good looking warm clothes. I don't. I just own a shit ton of dresses and sweaters and I have to sneeze. Cute. Hmm. Cute. I do have a coat. If I'm desperate, I'll bring my coat just in case I need to wear that. But I hate I, I get so claustrophobic. Like I don't like wearing layers on layers on layers and like and then you have to carry your coat because you absolutely have to take it off right when you get inside and I think I'd rather be like freezing for the 10 second. That chapter was a lot about sex. Sorry about that. Um, I'd rather be freezing for the 10 seconds it takes me to get into the building from my car than having to put on and take off a bunch of layers and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which is worse actually. That probably doesn't make me sound very hi. Oh, thank you so much. But anywho, I gotta go. I'm super freaking tired and I'm getting back on tomorrow. So wait, hold on. Because my friend whoop. Okay. So tomorrow, I'm going to my friend's house. Every Wednesday we watch an episode of our show together. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm planning on getting back at a good time so that I can stream, provided I feel good for streaming. We'll see. Yeah. So I'm gonna go because I should go to bed. But yes, I'm totally planning on streaming tomorrow. I'm gonna try to beat that boss again in my game. I might look it up before tomorrow. I might look it up tonight and see like, is there a trick that I'm missing? Because he's impossible. But I don't want to do another stream where I'm just dying over and over again. So, anyway, that's tomorrow. And if I don't feel up to it and I have to cancel, sorry. If I don't feel up to it, um, Thursday night, I was gonna do another read aloud actually, but only if you're in my Discord. So, Michael and Code, I know you are, so that's great. If you're a Discord member, I was gonna do like Discord only read aloud and finally start reading The Hobbit because I wanted to. So that was going to be for Thursday night. I'm excited. But anyway, cool. Join my Discord. I also post updates on there, so it'd be cool to have more people. I love it when people join. As long as you're, respectful and all that. But I do have rules for my Discord. Nobody reads them, but they're there. So if you ever wonder where the line is for me, how to not get blocked, just read my rules. Anyway, I think that's all. But this was a good chapter. Next chapter, get back Dexter. I'm so happy. The next chapter it starts from Dexter's point of view. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, cool. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. If you missed the chapter or the whole thing. If you missed the chapter or you heard it and you want to hear the rest of the book before it, all the chapters are posted on my channel. So go do that. It's a great book, actually. The chapter before today's chapter was like really good, actually. But anyway, cool. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. I love you guys. Stay safe.